For 10 seasons, Smallville redefined the superhero genre, telling the story of Clark Kent's journey to becoming Superman. The show introduced fans to a talented cast, many of whom became household names. But while Smallville remains a cherished part of TV history, tragedy has struck several of its stars. Some lives were cut short by unexpected accidents, others by long battles with illness, and a few faced shocking circumstances that left fans heartbroken. In this video, we honor the memory of 38 Smallville actors who have sadly passed away, looking back at their careers, personal struggles, and the legacies they left behind. Julian Christopher played Dr. McIntyre in Smallville in 2002 at the age of 58, portraying a compassionate physician dedicated to his patients. Despite the warmth he brought to his role, his real life was filled with struggles. A veteran actor, Christopher spent decades in the industry, but never achieved widespread fame, often taking small or background roles to survive. This lack of recognition weighed heavily on him, leading to periods of deep disappointment. His personal life was equally unstable. He was married twice, but both marriages ended in painful divorces. His children, frustrated by his absence due to work, grew distant, leaving him isolated in his later years. Financial struggles plagued him, forcing him to sell his home and relocate to a smaller apartment. In his final years, his health deteriorated due to heart disease, and he withdrew from social circles, spending most of his time alone. On February 26, 2023, he passed away from natural causes at the age of 78.
Higher.
How much longer is it gonna hurt like this?
Oh, you'll be fine in a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Julian Sands played Jor-El in Smallville in 2009 at 51, portraying Superman's wise and enigmatic father. Much like his character, Sands carried an air of mystery in real life, drawn to adventure and a life beyond Hollywood. Though he was married and had children, his passion for exploration often took him away for long periods, creating distance in his personal relationships. His acting career, while steady, never reached the heights he had envisioned, leaving him with an unfulfilled yearning for something greater. He found solace in mountaineering, a pursuit that provided him with the thrill and challenge that acting no longer did. In January 2023, he embarked on a solo hike in the treacherous San Gabriel Mountains but never returned. For months, his family endured the agony of uncertainty until his remains were discovered in June 2023 when he was 52, due to undetermined cause of death.
Thank you, yourself. You realize the council won't like this. You know what you're doing. Well, the council can do what it will, but I'll not let my life's work.
Chris Gauthier played Toyman in Smallville in 2004 at the age of 28, perfectly capturing the character's unsettling brilliance. Off-screen, Gauthier's career was defined by being typecast into quirky, eccentric roles, never quite breaking into Hollywood's mainstream. Despite his immense talent, he remained largely underappreciated, relegated to minor roles that never allowed him to showcase his full abilities. The weight of career stagnation took a toll on him, leading to periods of self-doubt and frustration. His personal life also suffered. His marriage ended in divorce, and without children or a strong support system, he withdrew from the public eye. Over time, his health declined due to weight-related issues, and as his career opportunities diminished, so did his motivation to fight. He struggled privately, with few people knowing the extent of his pain. On February 23, 2024, he passed away at the age of 48 after a short but severe illness.
Although even the finest plan can't guarantee a flawless execution.
Lorena Gale played Dr. Claire Foster in Smallville in 2003 at 45, portraying a compassionate therapist who helped characters confront their inner demons. In reality, Gale faced her own battles, struggling against an industry that often typecast black actresses into small, thankless roles. Despite a long career, she was rarely given the chance to shine, which left her feeling deeply frustrated. Her marriage, though filled with love, was weighed down by financial struggles and the constant uncertainty of an acting career. When she was diagnosed with cancer in 2008, her fight became even more grueling, as medical costs drained her savings and work opportunities completely disappeared. She faced her illness with courage, but many in Hollywood failed to rally around her in her time of need. As the disease progressed, she spent her final months in increasing pain and isolation. She passed away on June 21, 2009, at the age of 51.
Now who's in denial?
Trust me, I have nothing to hide.
And tell me about the island. The fisherman who found you said you were Reeve.
Christopher Reeve portrayed Dr. Virgil Swan in 2003 at the age of 51, embodying a brilliant scientist who understood Krypton's secrets but was physically bound to a wheelchair, a painful parallel to Reeve's real life. Once a Hollywood icon as Superman, his world shattered in 1995 when a horseback riding accident left him paralyzed from the neck down. His career, once promising, was reduced to advocacy work and public appearances, though he longed to act again. His marriage to Dana Morosini was loving yet tested by immense hardships. She became his caretaker while also raising their son, Will. Reeve battled repeated infections and depression, struggling with the agony of never holding his son in his arms. Despite his resilience, his body weakened. On October 10, 2004, at 52, he died of heart failure following a severe infection, leaving behind a legacy of heroism both on and off the screen, but also a life filled with immense suffering.
Hello, Clark. I've been expecting you. You're probably wondering why a billionaire scientist works in the back room of a planetarium.
Lee Thompson Young played Victor Stone, Cyborg, in Smallville in 2006 at 22, bringing depth to the character of a man struggling to reconcile his humanity with his cybernetic reality. Off-screen, Young faced even greater battles, though they remained largely hidden. A child star, he struggled with the immense pressure of transitioning into adult roles, facing diminishing opportunities as he aged. Beneath his charming demeanor, he fought a private war with undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which led to periods of severe depression. He sought solace in his work, but the emotional toll became unbearable. Though he had romantic relationships, none lasted long, and his loneliness deepened over time. In the years leading up to his death, his mental health worsened, but few recognized the extent of his suffering. On August 19, 2013, he tragically took his own life at the age of 29, shocking those who knew him.
We're all in the car, laughing, carrying on. Then it started to snow.
Margot Kidder portrayed Bridget Crosby in 2004 at the age of 56, a character shrouded in secrecy, much like Kidder's own troubled existence. Rising to fame as Lois Lane in Superman, she was adored by millions, but behind the camera, her life was unraveling. A lifelong battle with bipolar disorder led to erratic behavior, financial ruin, and 3 failed marriages. She had a daughter, Maggie, but her struggles often kept them apart. In 1996, she suffered a psychotic breakdown, wandering the streets of Los Angeles in a delusional state, her once glamorous life reduced to homelessness and despair. Though she later found stability, the demons of mental illness and addiction never fully left her. On May 13, 2018, at 69, she ended her own life with a lethal overdose, a tragic finale for the woman who had once been the ultimate on-screen heroine but had never found peace in her own life.
I'm Bridget Crosby. Dr. Swan sent me.
You'll have to forgive me.
You're expecting to speak to Dr. Swan personally.
Johnny Lewis took on the role of Gabriel Duncan in 2005 at the age of 22, portraying a young man tormented by paranoia and radical ideologies. Gabriel was deeply distrustful of those around him, embodying a volatile mixture of fear and desperation. Lewis, a talented actor with a rising career, was known for his roles in The O.C., Sons of Anarchy, and several independent films, yet his life spiraled into darkness. Struggles with mental health, drug abuse, and erratic behavior overshadowed his success. His personal life was equally turbulent. His short-lived relationship with actress Katy Perry resulted in heartbreak, and he had a daughter, Kula May, whom he ultimately lost custody of due to his instability. Lewis's life was plagued by violent outbursts and repeated arrests, culminating in a horrifying incident in 2012. On September 26, he brutally attacked his 81-year-old landlord before falling to his death from a rooftop in Los Angeles, at just 28 years old.
Where are you?
Route 87, near the old mill.
Okay, just hang on. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Rutger Hauer played Morgan Edge in 2003 at the age of 59, portraying a cold, calculating businessman willing to do anything for power. His real-life struggles echoed a different kind of battle, one against obscurity and unfulfilled artistic ambition. While Blade Runner cemented him as a cult legend, it also cast a long shadow over his career, leaving him typecast and often frustrated with Hollywood's lack of creative vision. Though married to Enocha Ten-Kate for over 50 years, his relentless work ethic and frequent travels made true emotional intimacy difficult. They never had children, and as time went on, loneliness crept in. Despite his reputation for strength, illness struck suddenly and fiercely. He kept his suffering private, and on July 19, 2019, he passed away at 75 after a short but fatal illness, leaving behind a career of brilliance but a life tinged with quiet regret.
Up my guys at the bank. I take it that was not a coincidence.
Those clowns, they work for you?
You've made...
Gordon Tootoosis played Joseph Willowbrook in 2002 at the age of 61, embodying a wise Native American elder deeply connected to his roots. But off-screen, his life was shaped by trauma. Taken from his family as a child, he was forced into Canada's brutal residential school system, where he suffered abuse that left permanent scars. Acting became his way of reclaiming his identity, but tragedy followed him. His beloved daughter Glynis died in 1997, an unbearable loss that dimmed his once strong spirit. Though married to Irene Sessikwasis with children and grandchildren, grief cast a shadow over his family life. He continued working despite his declining health, refusing to slow down. In 2011, pneumonia took hold, and on July 5, at 69, he passed away, his body worn from a lifetime of battles, leaving behind a legacy of resilience but also of deep sorrow.
Out of my way, Chief. I've got a job to get done.
You don't understand the consequences of what you're doing.
You threatening me?
How can I?
Kenneth Welsh stepped into the role of Drunk Santa in Smallville in 2005 at the age of 63, bringing a comical yet melancholic presence to the screen. His character, though light-hearted, reflected the loneliness and regret of a man who had lost his way, mirroring the real-life struggles Welsh would endure in his later years. A veteran actor with a career spanning over 5 decades, Welsh appeared in Twin Peaks, The Aviator, and numerous television shows. Despite his professional success, his personal life was marred by sorrow, divorced twice, estranged from his son, and known for a reclusive lifestyle. His final years were spent battling a relentless illness. Diagnosed with cancer, Welsh endured excruciating pain, withdrawing from the public eye. His health rapidly deteriorated, and on May 5, 2022, he succumbed to the disease at the age of 80, dying alone in his Toronto home.
So take, bitch. What happened to Christmas?
Carrie Fisher played Pauline Kahn in 2005 at the age of 49, portraying a fearless, hard-nosed editor, but in real life, she spent decades battling her own inner wars. Born into Hollywood royalty as the daughter of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, she was thrust into fame too soon, never truly in control of her own life. Her role as Princess Leia made her an icon, but also a prisoner of expectation. She turned to drugs for escape, a habit that contributed to the breakdown of her marriage to Paul Simon. She had one daughter, Billie Lourd, whom she loved deeply, but addiction and mental illness often distanced them. Years of substance abuse ravaged her body, leading to a fatal heart attack on December 27, 2016, at 60. In a cruel twist, her mother, Debbie Reynolds, died the next day, as if unable to live without her, one final tragedy in a life defined by both brilliance and unbearable sorrow.
Being a part of this world, working at the Daily Planet, it's always been my dream.
Well, we all have to wake up sometime, don't we, Sullivan? By the way,
George Coe took on the role of William Clark in 2002 at the age of 73, lending his warmth and wisdom to a character that reflected his own depth. A distinguished actor and an original Saturday Night Live cast member, Coe had an illustrious career spanning over 50 years, with credits in Archer, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, and countless television appearances. However, behind the scenes, his life was riddled with struggles. A lifelong bachelor, Coe was married briefly in his youth but never found lasting companionship, spending his later years in quiet solitude. Health battles consumed him in his final years, as a long, undisclosed illness gradually drained his strength. The vibrant performer who had once commanded the screen became frail and unrecognizable. On July 18, 2015, at the age of 86, he took his final breath, his death marking the end of an era for a performer who had given so much but received so little in return.
I was surprised to get your message. Must have taken a lot for Jonathan to ask for my help.
Jonathan is at the co-op in Granville. He doesn't know I called.
Ashley Massaro portrayed Athena in 2007 at the age of 28, exuding strength and resilience as a warrior caught in a web of secrets. Off-screen, however, her battles were far more insidious. Massaro first rose to fame as a WWE diva, captivating audiences with her athleticism and charisma, but behind the glamour, she endured profound suffering. A single mother to her beloved daughter, Alexa, Massaro struggled with financial instability, chronic pain from wrestling injuries, and the deep emotional scars left by an alleged sexual assault during an overseas WWE event. Depression and anxiety took an unrelenting toll, pushing her further into despair. Isolated and struggling to find a way forward, she made a devastating choice. On May 16, 2019, she was found unresponsive in her home, having taken her own life at the age of 39. The world lost a fighter who had spent years battling in silence, her final chapter written in heartbreaking loneliness.
Lucky me. Wait right here, kitten. I'll be right back.
Jackie Burroughs took on the role of Cassandra Carver in 2001 at the age of 62, portraying a mystical seer whose cryptic visions foretold ominous fates. Much like her character, Burroughs seemed to possess a wisdom that transcended time, but her own story was steeped in tragedy. A celebrated actress in both film and theater, she gained recognition for Inn of Green Gables and The Grey Fox, yet her personal life was marked by unfulfilled longing and sorrow. Widowed young, she never remarried, finding solace only in her work. The loneliness of her later years became unbearable as she grappled with declining health. In a cruel twist of fate, she was diagnosed with stomach cancer, an affliction that drained her physically and emotionally. As the disease progressed, she became a shadow of her former self, retreating into isolation. On September 22, 2010, at the age of 71, she succumbed to the relentless illness, fading away quietly in a world that had once adored her.
How do you do that?
When one sense goes, the others get heightened. Oh, I must admit, after yesterday, I thought I'd never see you again.
Richard Mall played Mr. Moore in Smallville in 2002 at the age of 59, portraying a stern and imposing figure. Best known for his role in Night Court, Mall's deep voice and towering presence made him a memorable character actor, but his intimidating appearance led to frequent typecasting in villainous or comedic roles, limiting his career prospects. Despite a steady stream of work, he never escaped the shadow of his early success. His personal life was marred by difficulties, 2 failed marriages left him emotionally drained, and his estrangement from his children deepened his loneliness. As he aged, health problems, including arthritis and mobility issues, further isolated him, making it difficult for him to work. Hollywood largely forgot him, and he spent his last years in obscurity, rarely seen in public. He passed away on October 26, 2023, at the age of 80, with the cause of death undisclosed, his once commanding presence reduced to a fading memory in an industry that had long since moved on without him.
For Byron.
How the hell did you get out?
I swear you better give me an answer right now, or I'm gonna...
I pried open...
Tony Todd portrayed Earl in Smallville in 2001 at the age of 47, delivering a haunting performance as a man tormented by past mistakes and suffering the effects of toxic chemical exposure. Known for his deep, commanding voice, Todd gained recognition in horror films but struggled with being typecast, limiting his career's growth. Despite his on-screen intensity, his personal life was filled with heartbreak. His marriage ended in divorce after years of emotional distance, and his only son, Michael, became estranged, unable to cope with Todd's prolonged absences. As work dwindled, financial problems mounted, and he battled chronic pain from years of stunt work, leading to a dependence on painkillers. He withdrew from Hollywood, living in near isolation as his health deteriorated. In his later years, he attempted a quiet comeback but found little success. He passed away on November 6, 2024, at the age of 69 from natural causes, dying in solitude.
Jonathan, am I glad to see you? Hey.
George Murdock played Harry Bolston in Smallville in 2001 at the age of 71, embodying a ruthless and manipulative villain. A character actor with a long but often overlooked career, Murdock appeared in countless television shows and films but never achieved leading man status, which left him bitter in his later years. His personal life was equally tragic. Married twice, both relationships ended in painful divorces, and he had no children to carry on his legacy. As he aged, his health began to fail, and he was diagnosed with cancer, enduring painful treatments with little family support. Once an actor in high demand, he found himself alone, his phone rarely ringing with job offers. In his final years, he lived in near anonymity, largely forgotten by an industry that had moved on. He passed away on April 30, 2012, at the age of 81, succumbing to cancer in a quiet hospice room, his decades of work barely acknowledged in his obituary.
1938, took over a couple of Dust Bowl farms, knew a bargain when they saw it.
You're a local history buff.
It's kind of my obsession.
Tom Heaton played Dexter Dex McCallum in Smallville in 2003 at the age of 63, bringing to life a cunning and manipulative character. Though he had a long career in television, Heaton never achieved widespread fame, often landing minor roles that failed to provide financial stability. His personal life was equally painful. His wife, the only constant in his life, died of cancer, leaving him in a state of despair. His only daughter, whom he had neglected in pursuit of his career, severed ties with him, leaving him completely alone. Struggling with grief and regret, he turned to alcohol, which worsened his health and further distanced him from his remaining friends. In his later years, he withdrew from the industry, rarely making public appearances, spending his days in quiet isolation. He passed away on January 1, 2018, at the age of 77, with the cause undisclosed, leaving behind a career of unfulfilled dreams and a life marked by loneliness and missed opportunities.
It'd be a terrible thing when love consumes you and takes over. I was so in love with Louise. I just couldn't see.
Michael Kopsa played Dean Winters in 2002 at the age of 46, a strict and imposing figure who frequently clashed with Smallville's heroes. Much like his character, Kopsa carried an air of authority, his deep voice making him a sought-after actor in animation and television. He worked steadily in shows like X-Men, Evolution, Fringe, and Stargate SG-1, yet true stardom eluded him. His personal life was a series of disappointments. His relationship with actress Lucia Frangione, with whom he had a daughter, ended in sorrow, and the demands of his career kept him from being the father he longed to be. In 2021, tragedy struck when he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. The disease progressed swiftly, robbing him of his strength, his voice, and ultimately, his life. On October 23, 2022, at the age of 66, he passed away, leaving behind a daughter who mourned him deeply and a career that, while impressive, never quite gave him the recognition he deserved.
Tables away from the counter, it opened up space for extra stools. More customers, more cash flow.
That's a wonderful idea, Dean.
I gotta go.
Alex Green played the store owner in Smallville in 2005 at the age of 63, a minor but memorable role that contributed to the show's realism. Though his role was brief, it represented his aspirations of breaking into the industry. However, his career never gained momentum, leading him into a spiral of disappointment and financial struggles. With no stable income, he lived in a constant state of uncertainty, taking on odd jobs to survive while watching his dreams slip away. His personal life was equally troubled. He never married, struggled with relationships, and often spoke of feeling lost and disconnected. Then came the tragedy. On July 20, 2010, he was found with severe head injuries under mysterious circumstances. Whether it was an accident, foul play, or something more tragic was never fully determined. At 68 years old, his life was cut short, leaving behind unanswered questions and the devastating reality of an unfulfilled future.
Hello?
Donnelly Rhodes portrayed Mel Ash in 2008 at the age of 72, a brilliant but overlooked scientist who provided crucial knowledge yet remained in the shadows. His real-life career mirrored his character's fate, always present, always talented, yet never truly in the spotlight. He became a familiar face on television, starring in Soap, Battlestar Galactica, and countless other projects, but he never reached leading man status. Behind the scenes, his personal life was marked by heartbreak. 2 divorces left him wary of love, and though he had children, his work often kept him distant. As he aged, his health declined, and his once thriving career faded into near obscurity. His final years were spent battling cancer, the disease that ultimately took his life on January 8, 2018, at the age of 81. Despite decades of contributions to film and television, his passing was a quiet one, acknowledged only by a few devoted fans.
America for more ambiguity.
Well, I just need more time. I need to take it to my workshop and take it apart.
No.
William Samples portrayed Harry Hardwick in 2002 at the age of 50, a cunning businessman always looking for an edge. His real-life career followed a similar path. He played small but pivotal roles in Supernatural, The X-Files, and numerous other productions, yet never became a household name. Unlike many of his peers, Samples never married, had no children, and seemed entirely devoted to his craft, though that dedication never yielded lasting fame. As he aged, the industry moved on without him, and the once steady stream of roles became fewer and fewer. In his later years, he lived in increasing isolation, his life defined more by past roles than present opportunities. On January 2, 2024, at the age of 71, he passed away due to undisclosed health complications. His death, like much of his career, went largely unnoticed. Another talented performer lost to time.
I'm sorry, I thought it was your life's ambition to crush my father.
No, that's your life's ambition. Mine is to take over Luther Corp.
Cory Monteith played frat cowboy in Smallville in 2005 at the age of 23, a minor but energetic role that showcased his natural charisma. Though brief, the role was a stepping stone in his career, which later exploded with his lead role in Glee. However, behind his charming smile and rising fame was a man tormented by addiction. Introduced to drugs in his early teens, Monteith struggled for years, cycling in and out of rehab. Even as Glee made him a household name, the pressure of fame only deepened his dependence on substances. His relationship with Lea Michele, though full of love, was overshadowed by his struggles, with his inner demons proving too powerful to overcome. On July 13, 2013, he was found dead in a Vancouver hotel room from a lethal mix of heroin and alcohol. At just 31 years old, his life ended in tragedy, a painful reminder of how addiction can consume even the brightest stars.
Mona!
Hey!
Go play with your 6-shooter. Me and the kitty cat here need to have a...
Alf Humphreys played Jim Gage in 2001 at the age of 48, a determined and principled investigator whose loyalty and strong moral compass defined him. In real life, Humphreys was a hard-working character actor who left his mark on films like First Blood and My Bloody Valentine, yet he remained largely unrecognized outside of industry circles. His personal life was more stable than most, as he was married to actress Helen Snell, but the hardships of an actor's life were ever-present: unstable work, financial struggles, and the constant battle for relevance. His greatest tragedy came in 2017 when he was diagnosed with brain cancer, a devastating illness that rapidly eroded his health. As the disease progressed, his ability to work, to live fully, to fight, all faded. On January 31, 2018, at the age of 64, he succumbed to the illness. His death went largely unnoticed by the media, a quiet end for a man who had spent his life bringing characters to the screen. Dale Wilson portrayed George Ford Mann in 2002 at the age of 60, playing a steady and reliable character in Smallville. A well-respected voice actor, he built a long career in animation, yet he never achieved widespread recognition. Despite his contributions to the industry, he remained largely underappreciated, leading to a sense of disillusionment in his later years. His personal life was equally troubled. His marriage to Marjorie ended in divorce after years of emotional detachment, and his relationships with his two sons grew distant. He later faced his most devastating challenge when he was diagnosed with both prostate cancer and Parkinson's disease, two relentless illnesses that slowly robbed him of his strength and dignity. His final years were marked by physical pain, financial hardship, and the crushing weight of solitude. On January 6, 2025, at the age of 74, he passed away, his contributions to the industry fading into obscurity as time moved on without him. John Mann played Lachlan Luthor in 2003 at the age of 41, portraying a cunning and ruthless businessman entangled in the Luthor family's web of power and deceit. His character reflected the darker side of ambition, embodying a relentless drive that often led to destruction. Beyond acting, Mann was best known as the lead singer of the Canadian folk rock band Spirit of the West, achieving success in the music industry. However, financial instability and career setbacks haunted him, forcing him to take on smaller acting roles to sustain himself. His marriage to playwright Jill Daum was filled with love, yet it was deeply tested when he was diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's in his early 50s. As the disease progressed, he lost the ability to perform, speak, and even recognize his loved ones, a devastating decline that left him a shadow of his former self. The vibrant artist who once commanded stages was reduced to silence, trapped in a body that no longer responded. He succumbed to the disease on November 20, 2019, at the age of 57. Who's your favorite character in Smallville? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.